The Messina brothers were five brothers who led a criminal organization in London from the 1930s to the 1950s. Early life. The father of the five Maltese Messina brothers was Giuseppe Tabono from Linguaglossa in Sicily. In late 1890 he came to Malta and worked in a brothel in the notorious Straight Street, Trikstrada Strada in Valletta. He married a Maltese woman from Zedgeton with the surname Debono and had two sons, Salvatore, born the 20th of August 1898, Hamrun, and Alfredo, born the 6th of February 1901, Hamrun. He then moved to Alexandria in Egypt in 1905, where there was a thriving Maltese community, and built a chain of brothels. The other three sons, Eugenio, born 1908, Alexandria, Egypt; Attilio, born 1910, Alexandria; and Carmelo, born 1915, Alexandria, were born in Egypt. All the five brothers joined their father in running brothels and prostitution. In 1932 the Egyptian authorities expelled Giuseppe and his sons. The family returned to Malta as Giuseppe had Maltese citizenship. In 1934 Eugenio, the third son of Giuseppe, moved to London with his French prostitute wife Colette. She helped establish the sex trade in London. The other Messina brothers followed Eugenio and established themselves in Soho, London. Gangsters. On arrival in UK, the Messina brothers took up English names. Eugenio became Edward Marshall, Carmelo became Charles Maitland, Alfredo became Alfred Martin, Salvatore became Arthur Evans, and Attilio became Raymond Maynard. Properties were bought throughout the West End and businesses set up. They quickly became involved in their father's former trade and, during the years following the Second World War, imported women from Belgium, France and Spain. With a steady and highly profitable prostitution operation and adequate protection from members of the Metropolitan Police, the Messinas ran unchecked in the city. By the late 1940s they were operating 30 houses of prostitution on Queen Street, Bond Street and Stafford Street. The women handed over 80% of their earnings to the brothers. By the 1950s the police estimated that at least 200 of London's most expensive prostitutes were Messina girls. Prosecution proved difficult as many of the women who worked for them had valid passports, making it hard to make a case for deportation of either the women or the brothers. Later they started recruiting local English girls by the age-old technique of giving good-looking girls a good time and possibly promises of marriage, followed by being induced into prostitution. Attilio Messina reportedly stated to the press, "We Messinas are more powerful than the British government. We do as we like in England." Downfall. In the late 1940s, Duncan Webb, a crime reporter on the tabloid newspaper The People, began writing articles claiming that information was being leaked from Scotland Yard to Alfred Messina, and on the 3rd of September 1950 the paper published a front-page article, "Arrest These Four Men," by Webb, describing prostitution in the West End, including interviews with more than 100 prostitutes, and revealing names, dates, photographs and other information crucial to any police investigation. The activities of the Messinas soon gained the attention of Scotland Yard, which formed a special investigative task force under Superintendent Guy Munn to engage in an aggressive campaign against them. By the end of the 1950s the Messinas had been forced to flee the country. Eugenio, Carmelo, Salvatore and Attilio left England on the 19th of March 1951. Alfredo Messina was arrested and charged with living off the immoral earnings of his girlfriend, Hermione Hyndon, and for attempting to bribe the policeman Superintendent Guy Munn, who arrested him. He was sent down for 2 years in prison on bribery and prostitution charges. Attilio Messina was sentenced to 4 years imprisonment after being caught attempting to illegally re-enter the country in April 1959. On his release he went to live in Italy. Eugenio and Carmelo Messina eventually resurfaced in Belgium, living in a 10-bedroom flat at Avenue Louis in Brussels. On the 31st of August 1955 Eugenio and Carmelo were arrested as they were closing a deal with 2 Belgian girls. They were taken to court on the 23rd of June 1956 on charges of procuring women, illegal possession of firearms, possessing fake passports, entering Belgium illegally. Eugenio received a 6-year sentence. Carmelo was acquitted because of lack of evidence. Conviction and imprisonment of Eugenio was partly because of testimony of detectives from Scotland Yard. The police forces of Italy, France, Belgium and UK were involved in the investigations and evidence collection for the prosecution of the brothers. Carmelo was banned from re-entering England, but he did and was arrested on the 3rd of October 1958 for being an illegal immigrant. He was found sitting in a car in Knightsbridge. He received a 6-month prison sentence. After completing his prison sentence, he was deported to Italy. He went to live in San Remo. He later married Maria Teresa Verveer on the 12th of March 1970 and died the same day. Alfredo Messina died in Brentford, UK in 1963. The remaining brother, Salvatore Messina, went into hiding and was never apprehended. Messina brothers laid the foundation for Maltese gangsters, pimps and criminals in Soho like Amrabile Rica, brothers Joseph and Francis Xavier Farrugia, Joseph Spiteri, Philip Elul, Victor Spampanato, George Caruana, Emmanuel Uttard, Big Frank Mifsud, 1976, Victor McAuliffe, 1970s, Joseph Mifsud, 1970s, Emmanuel Bartolo, 1970s, Jen Ogui, 1983, Vincent Calleja, 1983, etc. Some were jailed, some died, some fled. Some are back in the Maltese sun but still running prostitutes, albeit more discreetly than in the 60s, when the women had to hustle for work on the streets rather than through photo cards and public phone booths. Some may still be in business in Soho but keep a low profile. See also Charles Sabini, leader of the Sabini Gang, which once operated in Clerkenwell. References. Sources: DeVito, Carlo, 2005, Encyclopedia of International Organized Crime. New York, Facts on File, Incorporated. ISBN 0-8160-4848-7. Morton James, the 6th of November 2008. Gangland Soho, Publisher, Pietkas, 2008. ISBN 9781405515597. Keith Dovkants, the 18th of December 2002. Soho's Russian Vice Lords, Evening Standard. Mark Sullivan, the 15th of July 2015. Croc the Ripper, The Sun Peg, the 30th of August 2016. The Soho Connections, A to Z of Who's Who, Skeptic Peg. https://skepticpeg.wordpress.com/2016/080/30//the-soho-connections-a-who's-who/Stefan Slater, 2009 Volume 13 No.1p2548. Prostitutes and Popular History. Notes on the Underworld, 1918-1939. Crime History and Societies. https://chs.reviews.org/689. Newton, Michael, 2007. Gangsters Encyclopedia. The World's Most Notorious Mobs, Gangs and Villains. Pavilion Books. ISBN 9781843404026. Further reading: Briggs, John, Angus MacInnes and Christopher Harrison. Crime and Punishment in England. An Introductory History. New York, St. Martin's Press, 1996. ISBN 0-312-16331-2. Humphreys, Rob and Judith Bamber. The Rough Guide to London. London, Rough Guides Limited, 2003. ISBN 1-84353-093-7. Late, J. 2011. Common Prostitutes and Ordinary Citizens. Commercial Sex in London, 1885-1960. Springer. ISBN 9780230354210. Morton, James, 2012. The Mammoth Book of Gangs. Little, Brown Book Group. ISBN 9781780330891. Slater, Stefan, March 2007. Pimps, Police and Filles de Joie, Foreign Prostitution in Interwar London. The London Journal. 32 1. 5374. doi:10.1179/174963207x172911. ISSN 03058034. Wilson, Colin. The World's Greatest True Crime. Barnes & Noble Publishing, 2004. ISBN 0-7607-5467-5. External links: The Messina Brothers, and others. Reports concerning criminal activities. The National Archives. The Messina Brothers. Loss of British citizenship and deportations. The National Archives. Brothel, Curzon Street, London. API.parliament.uk. Hansard. The 21st of June 1956.